If you are gigging on sax in 2026 and your gear isn't reliable, you are making your life so much harder than it needs to be. This isn't about fancy gear. In this video, I'm going to go over the setup that I use on every gig and that I trust. And it is so important to find a gig setup that you can trust. You can play amazingly and still sound bad because of your technical setup. And in 2026, this isn't acceptable. Your setup needs to be reliable, consistent, easy to control, and it needs to make you sound like the best version of yourself. And this is what I don't gig without. My setup's intentionally simple. I want control and I want a great sound without complexity on every gig. The less complex it is, the less there is to go wrong. So it builds into that reliable side of things. Everything in my setup exists here for a reason, and that's so I can focus on playing. I don't have to concentrate on the technical stuff that makes my playing translate to the crowd and to front of house. So I make it simple and easy and reliable, but also good. This is how I sound through my setup so you guys can revert back to it and relate what I'm talking to something. That gives you a little reference. So first thing to talk about is your microphone. Your microphone is your voice. It's really, really important to translating this sound that you've worked on for years and years out to the front of house. And without it, you might not be heard. So on a DJ sax gig, I need amplification. And that's why a microphone is so important. And it's important to find the right one. And this is where a lot of sax players go wrong. I use a Shure GLX D14 microphone. Some pros to the Shure GLX D14. Number one, it has a clear focus sound. So it captures my sax really clearly without much harshness. It delivers a natural tone. It has controlled highs and no exaggerated noise. It just picks up my sound really well. And that makes it easier for me to put effects on it, but it also makes it easy for sound engineers and DJs to put effects on it if they so need to. Another thing that was really important to me when I was looking for a microphone was that it has excellent feedback rejection. I'm quite often in front of speakers. In clubs, you'll have speakers pointing at you. You can't avoid it. So feedback rejection is really, really important. And the Shure GLX D14 does have really good feedback rejection. It's got really good directional feedback. It's really reliable in loud environments. I don't have to fight a sound system and I don't have to turn my sax down loads because it's got really good feedback rejection. It's also really consistent in different spaces, which I really appreciate. I do gigs in lots of different spaces and lots of different environments, and it's reliable across all of them. It's got really predictable response, which goes back to that reliability factor that I'm looking for in a setup. It works well with effects. There's no surprises. It just works. It works in a club. It works in a private event. It works in a beach club. It works at a festival. It works. And that makes me relaxed, which makes me play better. It's pretty durable. I beat this thing around. This goes in the front of my sax case, which is just a soft zip at the front of the sax case. And it's pretty sturdy. It hasn't got any long antennae, so it's less for me to feel like I'm gonna break. So it's nice and sturdy, which is really useful for traveling with it. It's a trusted brand for a reason. Shure gear has a reputation because it earns it. It's built for live use. It's reliable night after night. It's pretty hardy, and it's got industry standard support So that's another reason I went for it. And to be honest, when something matters as much as a microphone, I don't really gamble with it. I also love that this mic comes with a rechargeable battery. That was one of my main reasons for buying this microphone. I was traveling a lot, doing a lot of international gigs, and I'd run out of battery and I'd be searching around for AA's all over the place. This comes with a rechargeable lithium battery. It recharges in the front of the receiver. So I have 2 batteries for each microphone. I have one inside the microphone, and then I have one recharging all the time in the microphone receiver. So I never, ever get into a situation where I don't have batteries for my microphone. That's really, really important to me. It also has a really long battery life, around 16, 17 hours I usually get out of it. So that makes a huge difference as well. So there's some of the reasons that I use the Shure GLX D14. A downside to the GLX, my main downside to it is it's on 2.4 gigahertz. So that's Wi-Fi range. So it does work well in very large majority of environments. Where it doesn't work well is if you're in a huge scale venue on a huge scale stage and everyone turns on their Wi-Fi receivers for like bar payments and things like that. So it can work on the same network as like card machines. So actually, sometimes that gets interference. So on a huge gig, I will spec that they provide me a microphone with a free frequency. Now, I always ask for that to be a Sennheiser or a Shure. I just like the way that they sound. I prefer Shures with how it matches my sax tone. So I do find that it can limit me on huge gigs, but on those big gigs, you do have the option to rider what you want. So I don't find it limiting. The GLX D14 series sits around 620 pounds. So it is quite an expensive option, but there are far more expensive options out there, I promise you. It's also not the only microphone option you can go for. There are a lot of alternative microphone options. So I'm talking for DJ Sax here, and I've had a little look around the market. The Nux B6 Saxophone wireless microphone system is a pretty good budget option at around £150. The Sennheiser E908B condenser microphone is a great budget condenser microphone. That's around £200. I would personally go for that over the Nux. Sennheiser has a great brand, and it's really strong brand because it is reliable and they are really high quality build. Why this matters: a wireless or sax specific mic improves clarity, freedom of movement, and overall stage sound compared to generic cheaper microphones. And sound quality or feedback rejection often make or break a set. So definitely bear that in mind when you're looking for a microphone. What do I use for my effects? So it's really important when you're playing sax and you're on stage, you'll want some effects. You might want to tweak your EQ. You might want to add reverb, add delay, add doubling. And I use a Boss VE20 vocal processor to do that. Even though it's designed for vocals, it is brilliant for sax. I am going to do a video on breaking down how to use this and all the different effects in it. So if you want to watch that, subscribe to the channel, because I'm going to be going over all the different things that you can add to your sax sound to build a really good dance music sax sound or jazz sax sound. So subscribe if you want a deep dive into the Boss VE20. First of all, something that I really look for in equipment that this really has is that it's gig proof. It is durable, it is reliable, it is really gig proof. This thing is not going wrong. I don't have to mess with it. I leave it on a single setting in my gigs, but I will be bringing the baritone into my 2026 gigs, so I will need to change settings. You can change your settings with the foot switches. You don't have to worry about having a laptop or using your hands. I can be concentrating on my sax playing, pop over, change the setting with my foot. It makes it massively useful and really easy to use on a gig. I can focus on playing and not troubleshooting. It has clean musical effects. The reverb and delay in the unit are really musical and they're not over-processed, which adds space to my sound without washing out my tone. It keeps the articulation really clear, and it works across different rooms. It really enhances my sound instead of hiding it under the effects. It's consistent from gig to gig. I know exactly what I'm getting every time I stand on stage. I know what the VE20 is delivering. It's got really good practical response. It's the same gig to gig, and it's easy to use and it's easy to control. That consistency matters hugely when you're moving from gig to gig and from venue to venue. It's built for the stage, which is really, really important. It is made to be stamped on in a live stage environment. It's a solid metal build. It is really easy to change the settings mid-song or between songs, and there's no fragile connections. It is really sturdy. And it is designed to survive real-life gigs with real-life musicians. It also can run off 6 AA batteries as well as power. So if you're going to be on stage, you want access to it, but you don't want to run power out to it, that's really, really useful. It allows you to affect lots of different aspects of your sound. So it's really fun to play around with. So the main ones for me are the delay, the reverb, the EQ. It also lets you put distortion on, to double up, to set keys. It's a really, really great piece of kit. Now, why am I using a vocal effects unit and not a guitar pedal? Not all guitar pedals work well with a mic signal. Vocal pedals like this are designed for vocal microphones and often just respond better to the frequency range of a microphone, of a vocal mic and sax mic. Some guitar pedals will not work with a saxophone microphone. So the Boss VE20, I love it, but there are alternative options. First, you could get the Boss VE22. So this is a slightly higher tier unit, and it has more control and more settings than the VE20, but it's very similar. It still comes in reasonably expensive at about £290, but it's very reliable and it's going to be a really good build quality. You could get the Boss VE1. It's simple, it's lightweight, it's got great reverb echo settings, which is really easy to dial in. And it's really good if you just want the basic effects without any extra complexity. And that's a cheaper unit at around £170. So it's a cheaper option, but will not give you the breadth of effects that the VE22 or the VE20 would give you. You could get a TC Helicon. It's a compact pedal with really good features like delay, reverb, modulation, and it's a really good all-rounder. And that sits about the same price as the VE1 at around £170. Or you could go for the Roland Era Voice Tweaker, which has some really cool creative effects like textures, reverbs, while still being portable and super compact and easy to use. And that is the cheapest option out of all of them, which is around £135. So if I was looking for an effects pedal now, I'd be looking for easy, effective controls. You don't want to be faffing around with equipment while you're trying to concentrate on playing this. Multi-effects to give you flexibility for your sound, especially if you haven't locked your sound in yet. And obviously a really reliable, durable piece of kit so that it's reliable for your gigs and so that you don't have to worry about it going wrong. I find that my setup of the Shure GLX D14 and the Boss VE20 vocal effects unit give me control, simplicity and reliability, and also help me to sound how I want to sound. What wires do I take to a gig? So I always put in XLR and a 1/4-inch jack, because if you're going into a DJM 900, then the microphone inputs are a 1/4-inch jack and an XLR. So if you have both, then you have the option to go to microphone input 1 or microphone input 2. Little saxophone screwdriver to do any minor fixes on my saxophone if I can on a gig, if I need to. But I do also have some backup saxophones in case this one goes drastically wrong. And I also have my custom Cosmic in-ears. These are molded to my ears, so it protects my hearing, but also means that I can monitor sound and I can hear exactly what's happening with no external noise getting in, because they are very noise cancelling. And it means that I'm getting high quality sound so that I can play the best that I can. I only really use these on big stages and festivals or in particularly loud environments like a nightclub. You can take your own in-ear system. I do take it when I feel like I'm going to damage my hearing on a gig, but that's a whole other story. My in-ears and my in-ears kit don't go out on every single gig. In 2026, sounding good technically isn't optional. There is loads of kit out there that will make you sound great and will work in lots of different environments. My setup lets my playing come through. It means that I can play confidently, cleanly, and it comes through and really represents my playing really well, whilst being reliable, tested, and professional. I really feel that simple setups survive gigs. It's really important to sound great, but it's also really important to have a reliable setup. I hope that was helpful for you guys. Drop a comment if you have any questions about setups, or if you want to hear more about technical stuff and about the technical side of gigging, then drop me a comment and let me know. Like if you liked this video or if it was helpful, because it helps me know to do more videos like this. And subscribe if you want to hear about lots of ways to improve your saxophone playing and what it's really like to be a professional sax player in 2026. Thanks, guys.